What's up, Blue Roof Nation? It's your boy Jonathan, and welcome to Nostalgia 100. Lawrence is still on vacation. He should be back next week. Fingers crossed. I wasn't sure if I was gonna do this week or not, but I was talking about on the last one. If you wanted to see like the last one, it will actually come out after this. Comes to history or something. Like if you wanted to see more about Venom, you should check out the animated series. And so I thought I'd do this episode talking about the old animated series. I mean, of course, the gold standard is Batman the animated series. It gave us like the whole Nora Frost thing for Mr. Freeze and his wife. It gave us Harley Quinn. Like that show is Batman the animated series is so beyond amazing. It's dark, it's gritty, it's real. Mark Hamill is the best Joker. Kevin Conroy is Batman. It's such a good show. And it deals with characters. It's real heavy in the characterization. And then you have the Superman animated series, which I didn't get into as much, and Justice League I didn't get into as much, but then you have Static Shock. You have Static Shock, which was kind of their I'm not a big DC Comics guy. Like I don't read DC comic books, so I don't know the comic books origins of a lot of these characters as well. But Static Shock was like, to me, it was like DC's version of the X-Men, you know? And it was fun. It was exciting. Like Batman Beyond was amazing. Like the DC, the Tim Bruce version of the DC animated series. And this is probably the best DC universe we've ever gotten. I mean, the Arrowverse, the Greg Berlanti verse, close second. They're like neck and neck. But that animated universe was just so in depth, so amazing, man. It's such great storylines. And like that Two-Face episode, I forget what it's called, Ice of Heart or something like that, where you find out about the origin story of Two-Face. Not Two-Face. Why do I keep saying Two-Face? Mr. Freeze. We find out about the origin story of Mr. Freeze and Nora Freeze, his wife, and all that. That is just so heartbreaking, you know? So, you know, I love those. I watch those, but but then you have the Marvel ones. And there's some Marvel ones that I was like, you know, it's alright. Like, the Iron Man one was cool, but I didn't really get too into it. The Incredible Hulk one was cool. I would watch it here and there, but if I'm going to watch something with the Incredible Hulk on it, it's going to be the TV show with Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno. That's my Incredible Hulk. That shit's amazing. I know his name's David Banner instead of Bruce Banner, but whatever. It's still amazing, alright? Then there's the Fantastic Four cartoons. But where Marvel did good was, first and foremost, their gold standard, which I think is almost as good as the Batman animated series, is X-Men the animated series. I mean, that end credits where the action figures are kind of rotating, so amazing, man. And they had such great storylines. First of all, they had the classic 90s costumes, which is what I grew up on, I'm a 90s kid, you know? But then you had it started with Jubilee, so you had the whole Jubilee storyline, you had a cool Wolverine, you had Fun Gambit, you had Apocalypse, you had Sinister, like you had Sinister's weird obsession with Scott Summers and Jean Grey, you had the Morph storyline that just breaks your heart in little tiny pieces. Like those of you who've watched my stuff, you know that I'm a huge Cyclops fan. He's like my favorite X-Men. When I was a kid, because of the X-Men animated series, I hated Cyclops. So it's crazy that he's not my favorite character, but this is because in the comic books, he turned into such like a cool, interesting character, you know? So the Boy Scout that he was. But they had such fun stories. Like when they were in the Savage Land, Xavier and Magneto, they really dived into who these characters were. You saw Magneto and Xavier's philosophies and their friendship. And it wasn't something that they just threw out there. It's something that they took pains to make real and make you feel. And it had heart. That's what these cartoons from the 90s, man, they had such heart, such depth to them. You're hard pressed to find even live action stuff today that matches some of these cartoons from the 90s. It's insane. And then you had the Spider-Man one, which, you know, it dealt with Peter Parker, and it had Kingpin and Spider Slayers and his relationship with Mary Jane and Aunt May, and it was so good. And then you had Spider-Man Unlimited, where Peter Parker went to Earth 2, and there's the animal people, and Venom and Carnage followed. It just, man, and this, and then the music from those cartoons, man. I just, as if you watch the other videos, you know, I'm kind of under the weather right now. But, so this is going to be a short episode, but if you guys haven't checked this stuff out, do yourself a favor and check out both the Marvel cartoons from the 90s and the DC cartoons from the 90s. You'll be glad you did, man, because they are above and beyond anything we have now. Just check them out, man. But this has been Nostalgia 100. I'm Jonathan. Give us legends.